Good day, everyone. I am Rica and I am the one all about the Philippine constitutions. What is constitutions? Constitutions is the basic law of the land. The Philippine constitutions defined as the written instrument by which the fundamental powers of the government are established, limited, and defined. These powers are distributed among the several departments or branches for their safe and useful exercise for the benefit of the people. Constitution, mura ni siya og haligi. Kung magtukod ganitag balay, kinahanglan jud og haligi aron siya mobarog o mulig-on. So, kita usa ka nation need ta nga naay i-implement nga constitution aron ato ang basihan ug sundan ta mulig-on ang usa ka nation or state og pundasyon silbi pundasyon ang constitution aron maglig-on og matarong hapsay and mao na ang rule sa Constitution. Here are the content of the Philippine Constitution. Principles. The 1987 Constitution. The Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Ang una na itong makita dito is ang preamble. Ang preamble, mao ni siya. We, the sovereign Filipino people, implore the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and humane society and establish a government that shall embody our ideas and aspirations, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity the blessings of independence and democracy under the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace. Do ordain and promulgate this Constitution. Dayon, sunod sa preamble, makita na nato dito ang mga article. Ang Philippine Constitution na ay 18 ka article. Na ang number 1 nga article nagtakol sa national territory. Ato na ito makita, national territory. Ang Article 2, Declaration of Principles and State Policies. Dili na ito makita sa Article 2 ang mga palisiya o kanang mga principle sa state. Then ang Article 1, ang suda na sa Article 1 is all about the national territory. Ang ato ang teritoryo. Then ang sa Article 3, Bill of Rights, na diri ang kanang mga gi-implement nga mga law. And the Article 4, it's all about citizenship. Section 1, the following are citizens of the Philippines. Those who are citizens of the Philippines at the time of adoption of this Constitution. So, nagtakol siya sa mga klase-klaseng citizenship nga naata diri sa Pilipinas. Unsay paagi nga matawag ba ka og kanang Philippine kanang Pilipino nga citizen, unsay mga kanang balaod and sa Article 5 is all about suffrage. Kung ingon tag suffrage is all about kanang voting. So ang ato ang usa sa ato mga responsibility ang mag boto. Kung kinsa to ato ang pilion nga mamahimong leader. So ang kani siya talks about kanang mga pamalakad sa kanang paagi sa mga boto-boto. Ang kinahanglan kung makabotar na ka is kinahanglan edad ka o 18 and above. And one of our kanang jud responsibility ang mo boto. Article 6, the Legislative Department. Ang kaning legislative mao ni siya ang mga senate, mga senado. Sila ang buhat og kanang mga law kanang ilahang trabaho is ang pagbuhat og mga law aron dadon ato sa presidente ipasa ato sa presidente aron siya nga ma-implement na jud nga law diri sa Pilipinas. Mao na ang trabaho sa Senate ang magbuhat og law. Ang Article 7, Executive Department. Section 1, the executive power shall be vested in the President of the Philippines. Section 2, no person may be elected president unless he is a natural-born citizen of the Philippines, a registered voter, able to read and write, at least 40 years of age on the day of the election, and a resident of the Philippines for at least 10 years immediately preceding such election. Nagtako na siya sa Executive Department. All about presidency. Ang sa Article 8 is all about Judicial Department. Section 1, the judicial power shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such lower court as may be established by law. Ang katong executive is all about presidency. Ang katong legislative is all about the Senate. And this one, judicial department, is all about the kanang mga naa sa Supreme Court. Mga lawyer, mga judge, mga siya mga nada. So, dira na ito mga kwan. Judicial power includes the duty of the courts of justice to settle actual controversial involving rights which are legally demanded and enforceable and to determine whether or not there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of the government. So, kanisiya ang Article 8 is all about the judicial department. Ang kanisiya na adiri mga judge, mga lawyer, nga nagkuan sa kanang sa nga nag-exercise sa atong law nga maoy kanang maoy mo settle kung na mga controversy, mga butang nga kailangan isettle kanang mga kaso-kaso na siya. Ang Article 9 is all about constitutional commissions. Common provision. The constitutional commissions, which shall be independent, are the Civil Service Commission, the Commission on Election, and the Commission on Audit. So it's more on na diri na-fall ang Commission on Election kanang mga maoy mag kanang lead sa kuan sa election, mga member mao na siya naadala pud ang the Commission on Audit, may tig-audit sa kanang kuan mga nagasto, mga na-expense. Article 10 is all about local government. So when we say local government or general provisions, kay it's kuani kanang more on mga municipalities, mga cities, ana local gani panalitan sa atwa diri local municipalities Cordova. So na diri na fall ang mga law nga dapat sundon sa atong mga local government na silbi pod ang kaning Article 10 diri mag silbing guide sa atong mga leader aron mag-guide sila sa saktong pamalakad. Ang Article 11 is all about accountability of public officers. Accountability of public officers. Section 1. Public office is a public trust. Public officers and employees must at all times be accountable to the people, serve them with utmost responsibility, loyalty, and efficiency, act with patriotism and justice, and lead modest lives. Ang kani siya is more on kanang mga public officers na sa gobyerno nga nagtrabaho. Mao ni ang ilahang silbing guide. Ani na sila mag-guide para maadto sa sakong dalan. Ang Article 12 is all about national economy and patrimony. Kaning patrimony is the love of one's country, no? So, naadiri na fall ang ato pong economy and patrimony. Ang economy, ang status sa atong ekonomiya. The state shall promote industrialization and full employment based on sound agricultural development and agrarian reform through industries that make full and efficient use of human and natural resources and which are competitive in both domestic and foreign markets. However, the state shall protect Filipino enterprises against unfair foreign competition and trade practices. So, nani diri na fall ang katong mga export, imports, and naadiri gikuan nga mas maayo jud nga ang atong mga product para mulambot jud ang ato ang kanang country. Mulambot jud sa atong mga product. Ato jud i-buy ang atong mga product. Kay kung ato ang i-practice kanang love sa atong mga product, ara jud ta mo patrimony kita love kita sa ato ang country. So mulove sa atong mga product, ara jud ta mamalit sa lain mas atwagin unahon ang ato ang product jud. Mas maayo. Mas mulambot jud ang ato ang ekonomiya. Article 13, Social Justice and Human Rights. So, diri na full ang human rights. Diri makita ang mga rights nato as a citizen of this country and as a human being. Article 14, Education, Science and Technology, Arts, Culture, and Sports Education. So, diri makita nato sa Article 14 ang education na fall. Section 1, the state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. So karon ang atong college nanay free ang ubang public college. Dili na mas makasave na ta. Una na tay so wala na gitay rason nga dili jud mo eskwela. Kay free naman ang college. So pasalamatan ni President Duterte sa atong mga nagipang presidente. So, naadiri na full ang education sa Article 14. Ang Article 15 is all about the family. Section 1. The state recognizes the Filipino family as the foundation of the nation. Accordingly, it shall strengthen its solidarity and actively promote its total development. So, ang nagbuo ani ato ang nation, ato ang state is the family itself. So, family, naani siya dakong role sa ato ang nation. Silbi, ang family is nagpurma para matawag tag usa ka nation. Is composed of family ang nation. Ang Article 16 is all about general provisions. The flag, Section 1. The flag of the Philippines shall be red, white, and blue with the sun and three stars, as consecrated and honored by the people and recognized by law. So, mao siya ang general provisions na nadiri na fall ang general provisions sa Article 16 and Section 2 ha. The Congress may, by law, adopt a new name for the country, a national anthem, or a national seal, which shall all be truly reflective and symbolic of the ideals, history, and traditions of the people. Such law shall take effect only upon its ratification by the people in a national referendum. So, naadiri ang mga ang kuan sa ato ang state nga naatay national anthem, naatay national seal, ang ato ang flag is na-symbolize ng Philippine Jukta kay na red, white, and blue with the sun and 3 stars. Mana siya. Nadira na fall ang general provisions. Ang amendments are Article 17, amendments or revisions. Section 1. Any amendment to or revision of this Constitution may be proposed by the Congress upon a vote of 3/4 of all its members. So, naadali na po ang amendments or revisions. Kung na sila i-revise sa kanang constitutional to, kay kinahanglan, usa pa na siya ma-implement ka na ilang i-revise. Dapat, sa kana siya, gimitingan na, o dapat, ang kana siya, kung 3/4 ang ni-agree sa Senate, kay ma-implement din siya. But, if 50-50, one half, 50%, then duduaan pa dyan na siya. If 25%, or 1/4, manibutar sa Senate na dapat i-implement na, is di na siya ma-implement dyan. Kay 1/4 naman ang kinahanglan needed nila is 3/4 of the Senate's vote. Article 18, the last article in the Philippine Constitution. Transitory provisions. Section 1. The first elections of members of the Congress under this Constitution shall be held on the second Monday of May, 1987. The first local election shall be held on a date to be determined by the President, which may be simultaneous with the election of the members of the Congress, which shall include the election of all members of the city or municipality councils in the Metropolitan Manila area. And the senators, members of the House of Representatives, and the local officials first elected under the Constitution shall serve until noon of June 30, 1992. Of the senators elected in the election of 1992, the first 12 obtaining the highest number of votes shall serve for 6 years and the remaining 12 for 3 years. Ang kanya siya transitory provisions, more on mga election po nila sa kaning kuan. So, about the katong election sa senators, member of the House of Representatives, mga be held katong pag June 30, 1992, na siya. So, nahita buro ni sa niagi ka. Section 27, that this Constitution shall take effect immediately upon its ratification by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite held for the purpose and shall supersede all previous Constitution. And from the onset of the American period to the present, Philippines had 4 constitutions. These are the following: the Malolos Constitution, the 1935 Constitution, the 1973 Constitution, and lastly, the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Maghatag na po ninyo o gamay idea ani kay ang next reporter is moving deeper ani, so ako silbi kuanan niya pa ento ani para na mo idea. The Malolos Constitution during the revolutionary government of Emilio Aguinaldo. Take note, Emilio Aguinaldo. During the revolutionary government of Emilio Aguinaldo. The Political Constitution of 1899, known as the Malolos Constitution, was the constitution of the first Philippine Republic. Sumagi na siya ang first na-implement na constitution dali sa Pilipinas, Philippine Republic. It was written by Felipe Calderon y Roca and Felipe Buencamino as an alternative to a pair of proposals to the Malolos Congress by Apolinario Mabini and Pedro Paterno. After a lengthy debate in the latter part of 1898, it was promulgated on 21 January 1899. So, na-implement siya pag January 29, 1899. January 21, 1899. Dayon, gidebate ni siya pag 1898. Pag 1899 na-implement. Pag January 21, 1899. Take note. The Constitution placed limitations on unsupervised freedom of action by the chief of executive, which would have hampered rapid decision making, as it was created during the fight for Philippine independence from Spain. However, its Article 99 allowed unhampered executive freedom of action during wartime. Unsupervised executive governments continued throughout the Philippine-American War, which erupted soon after proclamation. So, ang kanilang constitution, it was created during the fight for Philippine independence from Spain. So, nabuhat ni siya sa katong ang Pilipinas pa is nag-fight sa independence from Spain. However, its Article 99 allowed unhampered executive freedom of action during wartime. Mao'y nahitabo. So, ang Malolos Constitution is na-debate ni siya pag 1898. But na-implement na siya January 21, 1899. January 21, 1899. And create ni siya during the fight for Philippine independence, katong nag-fight sa atong independence sa gikan sa mga Spaniards. The 1935 Constitution is during the Commonwealth period. Ang 1935 Constitution during the Commonwealth period. The 1935 Constitution provided the legal basis of the Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government before the granting of the Philippine independence. With American-inspired Constitution, the Philippine government would eventually pattern its governance system after American government. It has been said that the 1935 Constitution was the best written Philippine charter ever. So, anak sila, nga ang 1935 Constitution was the best written Philippine charter ever. Ang kaning 1935 Constitution nag-provide siya sa legal basis of Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government before the granting of the Philippines independence with American-inspired Constitution. So, always remember, ang 1935 Constitution is the best written Philippine charter ever. The 1973 Constitution under the Marcos presidency. So, under siya sa Marcos presidency. Ang kaninga 1973 Constitution. The 1973 Constitution, composed of a preamble and 17 articles, provides for the shift from presidential to parliamentary system of government. The Constitution vests the legislative power in the National Assembly. A Prime Minister is elected from among the members of the National Assembly and serves as the head of government and Commander-in-Chief of the Philippine Armed Forces. A President is elected from among the members of the National Assembly and serves as the symbolic head of state with a 6-year term. The judicial power is invested in the Supreme Court, composed of a Chief Justice and 14 justices. The National Assembly exercises the power to define, prescribe, and apportion the jurisdiction of the lower courts. All justices of the Supreme Court and judges of the lower court are appointed by the Prime Minister. This Constitution retains the independence of the Commission on Elections and establishes two independent constitutional bodies, Civil Service Commission and the Commission on Audit, as well as the National Economic Development Authority. So, ang acronym aning the National Economic Development Authority is NEDA. So, kung makanungod mo NEDA, siya is the National Economic Development Authority. Ang kaning 1973 Constitution, na siya preamble, same sa 1987 na Constitution. Ang kalahian nila is 17 articles ang naa sa 1973, when sa 1987 nga Constitution is composed of 18 articles. So, usa rin siya. Then, naadiri, the Constitution vests the legislative power in the National Assembly. A Prime Minister is elected from among the members of the National Assembly and serves as the head of government and Commander-in-Chief of the Philippine Armed Forces. So, ang Prime Minister kuno, ma-elect siya. Dito nakuha, ato ra magkuha og Prime Minister gikan sa National Assembly and mag-serve siya as head of government. Kana nga gikuha nga Prime Minister. And head siya sa government and Commander-in-Chief po sa Philippine Armed Forces. So, ang Prime Minister is dako-dako ni. A President is elected from among the members of the National Assembly and serve as the symbolic head of state with a 6-year term. Ang President kuno, ma-elect ka nga President kung gikan ka sa National Assembly. And ang imuhang termino is 6-year term. And the judicial power is vested in the Supreme Court, composed of a Chief Justice and 14 justices. So, ang judicial ani nila kay na Chief Justice and 14 justices. The National Assembly exercises the power to define, prescribe, and apportion the jurisdiction of the lower courts. All justices of the Supreme Court and judges of the lower courts are appointed by the Prime Minister. So, ang Prime Minister na ang mo select na ikaw ani, ari ka diri sa Supreme Court. Ikaw ani, ari ka sa lower court. This Constitution retains the independence of the Commission on Election and establishes two independent constitutional bodies. Kanina ko lang siya. Kanina Constitution, kanina 1973 Constitution. Nag-establish niya siya of two independent constitution. The Civil Service Commission and the Commission on Audit, as well as the National Economic Development Authority. Apil po lang kana, National Economic Development Authority. Naanan mo diha makita sa 1973 Constitution. Ang last but not the least Constitution is the 1987 Philippine Constitution. During the presidency of Corazon Aquino, na-implement siya pag-time ni President Corazon Aquino. The 1987 Constitution establishes a representative democracy with power divided among three separate and independent branches of government: the executive, a bicameral legislature, and the judiciary. There were three independent constitutional commissions as well. The Commission on Audit, the Civil Service Commission, and the Commission on Election, integrated into the Constitution as a full Bill of Rights, which guaranteed fundamental civil and political rights, and it's provided for free, fair, and periodic elections. In comparison with the weak document that had given Marcos a legal fiction behind which to hide, this constitution seemed ideal to many Filipinos emerging from 20 years of political repression, and oppression. Ang nakalahi sa 1987 o sa 1973 is, ang kaniyang 1987, na siya three branches government. The executive, president, bicameral legislatory, mga senate, and the judiciary, katong mga nagkuan sa law, mga judge, justice, mga na while sa 1973, 1987, nagyapon sa 1987 ang Commission on Audit and the Civil Service Commission. Napuna siya dito sa 1973. Ang lang is the Commission on Election na diri sa 1987, wala siya sa 1973. Pero naa siya National Economic Development Authority. Dayon sa 1973, Prime Minister siya, dili siya kanang kuan. Ang dako og kuan nila. Ang dako og kanang power nila is a Prime Minister. Ang Prime Minister is may mag-elect kani sa Chief Justice na ibutang o sa 14 justices. Dayon kailangan para ka ma-Prime Minister, kailangan gikan ka sa National Assembly and serve as the head of government and Commander-in-Chief of the Philippine Armed Forces na nakay background ana nila. So mao to ang kalahian nila. And that's all. Thank you.